And welcome to Virus Bootcamp. In this episode, I'm going to be talking through the construction of a pad I made recently, which I wanted something nice and warm, but with the effect of waves crashing in the background. So I thought it would give you some useful insight, and it's also a good demonstration of split mode in the filter section. So let's take a look at that straight away. So if we put the filters in split mode, you can see that the routing diagram tells us that oscillator 1 and the sub-oscillator are going entirely through filter 1 and through the saturation stage as well. And the signal from oscillator 2 and the noise generator is going through the entirely through filter 2. And it also happens that they are sent to different audio channels. So filter 1 is sent to the right and filter 2 is sent to the left. So if you turn up the noise generator like this, and then open up pan spread in the unison here, you can hear the noise in the left channel and the oscillators more in the right, because we've got a mix of the two at the moment. Now, with regards to that patch I was talking about, let's make that now. And the difficult part of that is the waves crashing. So for this, I'm going to turn the oscillators down and just leave the noise generator audible for a while. Let's turn the pan spread back to where it should be. So the problem we have right now is that the sound is just a hiss, and it's a rather dull one at that. Let's open up the filters a bit to start with. Okay, so that's the noise. Let's turn off cutoff link and filter link as well, because that's better. There we are. If you're going to use split mode, it makes sense to turn these off, I think, because it means that the filters are truly independent then. So the noise is just a hiss, and we need to make that sound like waves crashing. So how do we do that? Well, the noise happens to have its own filter here called noise color. And if you turn that down to the left, it makes it darker, the low pass filter. And if you turn it up to the right, you get a nice thin fizzy sound, which is courtesy of the high pass filter. I'm going to leave it in the middle and use the mod matrix to modulate the color of that with LFO 3. Actually, no, let's use the bipolar one. We'll send that to noise color. And we need it a lot slower than that. And now we'll modulate the volume of the noise as well with the same oscillator, same LFO, sorry. And then it's quite remarkably like waves crashing in comparison to how it was before I tweaked that particular parameter. So let's soften the whole sound now in the amp envelope, make it more pad-like. I'm also going to modulate noise volume twice, actually, because this is a nice little trick that allows you to get a steeper slope from the LFO cycle. And now we need to bring the oscillators back in so we can get some warmth in there, and some musical content as well. And for this, I'm going to use pulse width modulation on oscillator 1. Let's turn up the LFO to pulse width modulation and the rate, and I'd actually better set oscillator 1 to pulse wave. And now we can filter that. And you can vary the level between the two with filter balance. Make the waves a little bit quieter. I might also just put a bandpass filter on them to get them a little more under control. And soften the start of the sound a bit like this. So that's basically the bulk of the sound that I was after. We got the warmth from the oscillator, oscillator 1 in pulse width modulation. We got the waves from the noise generator. But I've done a more complex version of that patch, and you can download this and have a look. And in this, I've actually used oscillator 2 as well in wavetable mode and applied some modulation to that to create these sort of bell-like tones. and also faded oscillator 1 in and out with the amp envelope, targeting oscillator balance. Put a little bit of randomness in there as well, so each note's slightly different. And I've used unison mode as well, just to kind of really spread the sound out. And this is the end result.